everybody. Welcome to the Canine Connection podcast. Today, we are going to continue talking about reading your dogs. So we're going to try and come up with some practical strategies that you can implement to help you understand what your dog is telling you in the moment. So initially, you're probably not going to be able to do it in the moment, which is fine as long as you can go back and evaluate it and come up with some theories and ideas, and eventually you're going to get better and better at it. I think what makes it extra complicated to read dogs is that they have a limited vocabulary, right? So, for example, they can yawn. Yeah, they definitely yawn when they're tired, right? They can yawn when they're stressed. They can yawn when they're confused. They yawn when they're lowering the arousal. Some dogs yawn when they're raising their arousal. Some dogs yawn as a way to focus, right? So they'll yawn and then they're like, okay, I'm dialed in. So it's the same with scratching, sniffing, wandering away,
shaking.
what else? Snapping like an alligator. Zaina snaps like an alligator.
Licking.
Yes, lip licking. So a lot of these behaviors, right? How do we know which thing is it?
What? Yeah.
So what we need to always do is look at what happened before and after. So very recently someone's dog was in the ring and it started scratching, right? So she turns, looks at the dog. I think it doesn't matter what exercise, and the dog scratching. And so, people tell me this all the time. Oh, I don't understand why my dog's so itchy. All of a sudden, your dog's not itchy, right? How do we know? Well, look at what happened before. What happened right before your dog did that? Sometimes right before the dog did it, you disconnected and just left the dog hanging. Or all of a sudden the judge moved in really close. And just as the judge is getting closer and closer to the dog's like, oh God, and starts to scratch. Or this person, kudos to this person for figuring this out. They're like, you know what I realized? This was the first time I did one exercise and finished. And then the next exercise started in the same spot. And I've never done that before. I always finish the exercise, then we run over to where the next exercise starts. So when the exercise finished, the dog started to oh, we're running over there, right? And she's like, no, we're not. Sit, we're doing this exercise. And the dog's like, oh God, I don't know what we're doing.
Yeah.
Right? So the reason it matters is because in the one case, what's the person going to do? It's going to just teach the dog that sometimes the exercise ends and the next one starts right here, right? So that's the answer to that problem, which is very different from the person whose dog started scratching because the judge moved closer, right? Because that's a pressure issue. That's something you need to deal with. You have to teach the dog, okay, the judge comes, do a game. The judge comes, do a game. The judge comes, do a game. Or maybe you gave the dog the wrong cue, right? We make mistakes. I've done that. Tell the dog the wrong thing. And the dog goes, and then I walk away and the dog's like, oh God,
What?
I don't know what the hell we're doing.
Right.
And then they just start scratching. So in all those cases, how we resolve the problem is very different based on why the dog did it. But the answer is there, right? The answer is what happened right before the dog did the behavior. And sometimes the information after is also important, right? So Zaina I'll leave her on signals, and as I'm walking away, most of the time I'll hear her go snap, snap, snap with her jaws. Now you could go, oh God, is she stressed out? Is that why she's snapping? Well, how do I know? Well, by her response to signals, right? If she snaps and I turn, she's super focused. She will do her signals, 100% guaranteed. If I walk away and she doesn't snap, I always go, uh-oh, because I don't know if she's going to do them or not, right? So for her, the snapping is something she does that helps her focus,
Right.
right? And I know that because of if she snapped and every time she snapped, I turned and then she either froze or didn't do her signals, I would surmise that the snapping means she's concerned about something, right? But because she snaps and then her work is really good and consistent, I can surmise that the snapping is something that's productive for her. So before and after, this is where video is absolutely critical. Oh, we lost Laurie. She's having internet issues, so we're just gonna hang tight and she'll pop back up. So anyway, video is critical here because unless you are able to process all that information in that moment in time, you are, yep, I know, I told them. I'm just
Okay.
gonna finish. So with video, because most people in that moment in time in training, there's too much going on. You can't process all the information and do all that like data analysis, right? So, but if you don't have video, you can't do the data analysis. So you need the video so you can go back in training and look at it, right? Because in training is where you're going to learn. And obviously you want to do it for trials as well. But if you start doing it routinely in training, you're going to start to learn what your dog is telling you and over time apply it. So I was saying before and after.
Right. Yeah. And like one of the things I like had to learn with Stormy too, because every time I would leave her like on whatever, usually after healing, like so for signals, I'd leave her, I'd walk away, I could hear her shake every single time. And I'm like, oh, wow. Like, I don't know what that is. And what I learned was like with her, like healing actually makes her arousal level go up. So after I would heal her and then put her in her stand for signals, like she had to, like, it was like her way of trying to like kind of get her shit together to be able to stand there and stay there and concentrate while I was leaving her. She was trying to bring her arousal state down. But that was like a total, like every time I would leave her, I would hear her, you know, she actually would actually do it too. Didn't always have to be after healing. It could be other things too. Like even like when I was a novice, you know, and I would have to leave her whatever stationary for her recall. Even after transitioning her over, it was like she had to, you know, it was her way of trying to like, okay, I gotta like concentrate. I can't move, blah, blah, blah. And that was just a behavior, but I had to go back, like, cause I remember being like, oh my God, she shakes every freaking time I leave her. Like, why is she doing that? And then I would watch video and then I would see it and it all came together.
Yeah,
And
so it's arousal. They'll do certain behaviors to lower their arousal,
yeah.
and they'll also do certain behaviors to raise their arousal.
Right.
Um, and what happens is which in a way is good, like as the dog learns what's coming, right? Which is why it's really important for us to be predictable and give them really good information
Right.
They actually will say, oh, we're doing this exercise. Hold on a second. I have to bring my arousal up for this. Or like you just perfectly, gave the perfect example. Oh, wait, I really need to concentrate here. Let me lower my arousal so I can really focus.
Right.
That's a really intelligent animal, but that's also an animal that has been trained in a very predictable way so they know what's coming,
Right.
right? And so they understand, like, oh, in order for me to execute this task successfully, I need to, adjust myself so that
Right.
I can, do this task.
Right.
So
And, it's important to learn all of these things too, like of why that's happening, especially that's the beauty of the video, like we talked about, because then, talking about predictability, like telling the dogs, like even before, like knowing that my dog has to shift their arousal state from one exercise to another, then I have that ability to know that about the dog, because I've learned that that's why that behavior is going on. And can I help the dog in that process of them bringing up, bringing down by how by handling them a certain way, like I'm certainly not going to heel Stormy and then have her bounce to the next exercise, which may be command discrimination, because that's not going to be helpful for her at all. So,
right.
yeah,
But first, you have to know that she's doing that because it's an arousal issue. That gives you the information that then drives your training. If you don't know that information, you could be inadvertently doing the wrong thing. If you're like, oh, she's stressed,
yeah,
then maybe you're adding more drive and motivation into the exercise to get her more comfortable. And guess what? You're inadvertently making it worse.
yeah, and then you get an implode in the ring.
So,
Well,
well, the other thing is it's not necessarily always going to be that obvious, right? Because someone may go, well, okay, great, but how could you tell that she was shaking because she was lowering arousal? So part of it is like you have to be willing to come up with several different possibilities and then kind of say, all right, let me see if I can, because that's really what we're doing is we're just puzzling it out, right?
yeah,
It's not like you looked at the dog. You just said she shook. You did not know why. You didn't
right,
say she shook and instantly I knew. Of course not, because it's not that simple.
right,
It's a matter of like being a detective, deduction, right? Like, okay, is it stress? Is it confusion? Is it arousal? Which is it? So then you have to say, okay, let me see. Oh, okay. When I heal, she really gets aroused. Maybe it's that. Okay. Let me try to get her very calm. Maybe I'll do just forward, left turn, stand your dog. Oh, look, she didn't shake. Maybe it's arousal. Oh, she shook anyway. Maybe it's not arousal. Okay. Is it because am I doing something confusing? Well, let me make sure I'm being crystal clear and very consistent with everything I'm doing so there's no confusion. So you kind of have to go through the different possibilities and rule them out sometimes, right? Like a fair amount of the times, that's what it comes down to,
right,
right? Is like we have different hypotheses, like it could be this, that, or that. So that's kind of how I approach it. I'm like, okay, what could it be? And I'll write it down. Is my dog, I always go with confusion first because that's the easiest one to fix. And that's
yeah,
very exciting when it's confusion because you're like, oh, good. It's very easy. Right. Which is, am I being crystal clear? And let's be honest, most of us are not, right?
right, right,
Like, are my signals distinctly different one from the other? Do I know exactly what my signal is? Like, if I say to you, what's your moving stance signal? And you have to take a second and go, guess what?
yeah,
It ain't consistent,
right, right,
right? Like, um, so you better make sure it is, and you know exactly what it is, and you're doing it the same way every time. And it
Right.
could be something incredibly subtle. Like, it's so fascinating. Like the absolute subtlety that the dogs read, right? So I'm doing rally right now and I'm teaching my dogs like some new moves. And it's it's 300% me, right? So I'm like, Zaina, why is it so hard for you to learn to back up? Forget 3 steps, 1 step. Like, why can't you back up and just stay in position? Like, what is wrong with you?
Mm.
Nothing. What is wrong with me? I'm telling her to back up and turning my shoulder back. So what is she doing? Moving back because my shoulder's telling her to move back. Sorry, Zaina. Right? And I'm like, Klaus, Klaus, why aren't you close? Dumbass, because your shoulder's back. Right? So like the most subtle things are like I'm teaching them to go around to the right, whatever. Like if I just do one little thing different with my hand, all of a sudden the dog does the behavior.
Yeah.
Right? So um that's like how alert and attentive they are and how much we have to pay attention and be aware and take responsibility, right? Because a lot of the time they're reacting certain ways because we're just confusing them. Um,
Bottom line.
and
Oh,
the good thing is the easiest thing to fix, right? But like they're so, and it depends on the dog. Some dogs are more mentally flexible than others, right? Like, I don't know if I gave this example before once, but like I was doing articles in the ring and I had to go take my article. So I go to the chair. It's like 1 step, pick it up, go to step back to her, and she jumps up into a stand. Right. And I'm like, the hell was that? So I leave the ring and I'm like laughing to my friend. I'm like, I don't know what the hell that was about. And she's like, oh, you did that. I go, I did? She goes, yes. After you picked up the article, you took your hand and put your hair behind your ear. And God damn it, if she wasn't right, because as soon as I did that, Jana jumped up because she's like, I don't know what that means. What are you doing?
yeah.
Like, that's how literal she is. Now, with another dog, I could do that. Now, with her, I couldn't prove that out. Right.
Yeah.
But she's trying so hard and
Yeah.
she's so literal in that moment that she's like, whoa, what does that mean? I don't know what that means.
Yeah.
Or maybe she thought it meant, oh, wait, am I supposed to do something? And she jumped up. Right.
Yeah.
So that's something. And God, humans have no idea what we're doing with like hands flapping all over.
Yeah. Well, that's the thing. The dogs are so freaking intuitive. They are like, they watch everything. They're so in tune to every little body movement that we're making. It's crazy. And I think we forget it. We take it for granted. And then at the end of the day, like it's always us, like what are we called? One of the things with Stormy too, which we had talked about too, was like, I would leave her on things and she would like be doing like this weird head bobble thing and looking around and looking right and looking left. And I was like, oh my God, this dog, like the dog gives me such beautiful attention. Like the dog could not try harder when she's like right with me all the time. But then when I was leaving her, she was swivel headed. And it was really just came down to like, she doesn't know where to look. Like we just
Yeah.
assume things, but honestly, like, I'm like, oh my God, like, and everybody's like, well, I think that she just doesn't know what she's supposed to do when
Right.
you
She didn't
leave
know
her.
what to do, where to look. That's a very common thing. Yeah.
So common. And I'm like, oh
And
my God.
how easily is it to misconstrue that and say the dog is being distracted, right?
Right.
But we can again deduce that Like, I'm pretty sure this was, I was at your building and I saw her doing it. Well, there's nothing to look at.
Right.
So she's not distracted, because if I'm being objective, that there's nothing for her to look at. Right.
Right.
So again, this is how you come to draw the conclusion, right? You say, oh, is she distracted? Well, she is if there's stuff to look at and she's looking at something specific. But if
Right.
she's just bobbing her head around and there's nothing to look at, no, she's not looking at anything, right? If we know that she should, like, typically gives you effort, then we can say, okay, it's not a lack of effort. So there's some sort of confusion. What is she confused about? Did I give her the right information consistently? Yes, I have. Okay, what else is she confused about? Well, she doesn't know where to look, right? Because we make it clear when our dogs are in front of us, look at our face. When they're in heel position, look at our face. And then we walk
Exactly.
away. And then we're just like assuming the dog looks at our hair, our back,
Our butt.
our butt. Like, what is it looking at, right? I mean, I won't go down a rabbit hole with that, like, because I figured this out a bunch of years ago, but like they don't know what to look at. So give the dog a focal point,
Yeah.
right? Look at my hand. Oh, look, it goes away. Okay, problem solved. That's what the dog was saying. I don't know what you want. I don't know where I'm supposed to look. But it's not like again, it's not like the dog's head bobbles and we instantly go, "Oh, yeah, I know what the problem is." No, you have to like gather the data,
Yep. Figure it out.
right? Look at the environment, look at what happened before, look at what happened after, get a little history on the dog, and then draw some possibilities, test them out. Oh, okay, look here. That's what it was. And
Yeah.
then after a while, as things, like as you gather more and more of these data points, tends to get a little bit easier down the road. You get to know that dog and you kind of know, like if this dog, like with Tyler, I knew if he made a mistake or if he wasn't getting something, 300% he was confused. Like
Yeah.
there was no other option because he always gave me 150% effort. So when an instructor would say to me, "Oh, he's not paying attention," or "He's not this," I'd say, "Nope, no. He's confused. I know he's confused because he would never do the wrong thing."
Right.
Right? With a dog like Zaina, different story, right? I know her now pretty darn well to the point where half the time, more than a lot of the time, I'm looking at her and I know what she's thinking moment by moment because we've been together for a long time and I've worked on learning what she's saying to me for years. And then you start to see patterns and you start to put those patterns together.
Right.
And if, doesn't hurt that she yells at me when she doesn't like something. But
Well, it's like, yeah. Well, it's like with every relationship, like time brings you closer together. You learn more about each other in all the relationships you have with
yes.
whether people and, like even like even people, like even when I'm with you, like I can look over at you in a building.
We did that not too long ago and
Look
know
you
exactly what they're thinking.
I know what the fuck you're thinking. And because
But
it's just you learn those behaviors and those you know what I mean? That's just like you learn them.
But the thing is, what's a little easier with not all humans, because all humans are not good communicators. So think about that, right? Like you and I, we communicate. Therefore, and we're like very straightforward, right? Like there's no game playing. I don't say one thing but mean another.
Right.
Like I'm a straight shooter. You're a straight shooter. I'm not worried about hurting your feelings. If I think you're doing something stupid, I'm going to be like, "Dude, what are you doing? That's so stupid." And you're going to go, "I don't care if you think it's stupid. I like it. So I'm going to keep doing it." Right.
Right.
So if I'm like, "What are you wearing?" You'd be like, "I like it." And then we'd be like, "Okay." And we'd move on. Right.
Right.
Because we're straight shooters and we just don't care. Now, try having that kind of a relation. You're not going to have that same relationship with someone that says, um, oh, you look really good today. And they mean you look like shit. Or if I say, how are you doing? And they're like, oh, I'm great. And meanwhile, they're miserable. And then they're going, God, she can't even tell I'm miserable. What's wrong with her? Well, why don't you just tell me? Right. That's going to be a lot more complicated, that relationship. Like, it's going to be a
Yeah.
lot of work. I'm going to have to learn to read between the lines. I'm going to have to put in a lot more effort. Right. So it's a lot different. Like, it's a very different relationship. Um, relationship with someone that barely communicates, that doesn't say how they're feeling. And you have to like read between the lines. You have to go, oh, every time he's hurt, he goes out and he works on his car. Notice I'm using a guy, right? Every time he's mad, he goes and he plays PlayStation. Like, and now you have to put that's more like a dog, right? You
Right,
have to
right, right.
look at the evidence and go, oh, that's what
Hilarious.
is
Oh
going.
my God.
So, but, you know, just like anything, all dogs are different. So if you want that relationship with with the dog that's not a good communicator, or that doesn't communicate the way you communicate, right? It's going to be a challenge. It's going to be a lot more work. You're
Right.
going to need to put that work in to figure the animal out. And in all fairness, in the dog's case, they're always at a disadvantage, right?
Yeah.
They're always trying to figure out what in the hell we want from them in this situation, in this moment.
Yeah.
And we're just really frustrating to them, right? Like, because we're terrible at it. So they're struggling and they're still trying. So we really owe it to them to put that effort in, you
Mm-hmm.
know? So I'm telling my students now, like, I want you to take sessions where you are not concerned about teaching your dog behaviors, where you are just going to focus on reading your dog.
Right.
So videotape it, go somewhere where you typically work, do a bunch of behaviors with the dog, do a bunch of whatever, but not with the goal of like, I want to improve this exercise. Just train the dog.
Yeah.
And while you're training the dog, challenge yourself to read the dog, right? But you're also filming it. Then go back, look at the film and compare and go, did I read that right? Or maybe in the moment you're like, I don't know why this dog just did this. Then go back and look at the video. Can I figure it out? Can I come up with some theories? Right. And then maybe you get somebody to help you. Right. Like, so my students can ask me and I'll go, yeah, nice. I think it's this, or I think it's that. Right.
Mm.
Confirm or deny. But at least you're trying. And if you do that consistently, you're going to eventually start coming up with the right answer. And then you're going to come up with the right answer more and more. And then over time, you're going to be able to do it in the moment,
Yeah. Super fast.
in training. Yeah.
Yeah.
But if you try and do that while you're training your dog, like teaching it things, you're gonna fail. 'Cause there's too much going on.
Well, yeah, because it really is like it's so easy. It's easier for people who have been doing it long enough to be able to have that ability to read in the moment, like you just said. Over time, that will eventually happen. And I think that's where it's very frustrating for a lot of people who are just starting out training dogs. And everybody learns at their own pace, obviously. So it can get a little frustrating. But yeah, like it is a learned skill. Like that's what I would say about reading dogs. It's an entire, like totally separate skill set you need to be able to learn to be able, I think, to be able to train dogs, well or efficiently. You have to be able to read dogs 100%.
Well, and the reason people struggle is because they're thinking about too many things at once, right?
Yeah,
So the
exactly.
other half of that is the reason I can read dogs is not because like I have this magical mystical ability. It's because I don't need to think about my footwork because I mastered it.
Right,
I
right.
don't need to think about using how to use my markers correctly, efficiently, accurately because it's a habit. It just happens. There's no thought required. I've made that like, it's subconscious.
Yep.
Um, understanding what my criteria is, like I sit down, it's memorized ahead of time, it's locked in my brain, I know what it is, therefore I recognize it, I know what my strategy is, how I'm going to react to it. That's all clearly established in my head before I even get my dogs out to train. Therefore I don't need to think about it, right?
Mm-hmm.
So my handling is ironed out. Like I sit there, I figure it out. Like this is going to be my signal. I practice my signal a million times without the dog. I make sure it's automatic. There's no thought required to my signals. They're the same every time. So I don't need to think about it. So a lot of times I think people are struggling not just to read dogs, but with dog training in general is because they never take the time to master these individual foundational skills to the point where they require no thought.
Mm-hmm.
And so now their brain is on constant like overload because it's like, turn right, stop the dog. Oh, he made a mistake. I don't know what to do. Oh, wait, this signal. Oh, wait, my hand. It's like too much going on.
It is, and I think that it's like a really good point to say that, like that these things need to be separated out and mastered because I don't think a lot of people are really told that, and I think that that's really it becomes very discouraging. I feel like with a lot of people, a lot of students, they get really frustrated and really discouraged and they're like hard on themselves about it. Like I see that a lot and I explain that to them like no, 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 like these are just all separate skill sets that need to be mastered over time and putting work into each one separately before you can really blend them all together to be efficient in all of those things that you're trying to do. That's just time and work being put in. I think people get really discouraged by that and frustrated that they're,
If
that I hear it, like, oh, I'm so bad at this. Oh, I'm a terrible dog trainer.
Yeah, more and more I'm gonna make them like, master individual skills, right? Like I'm weird. I guess I'm weird because like I know part of the problem is people like the sexy part. They like to train their dog. But the irony is that piece is going to be so much more fun and so much more efficient and successful if you take the time, especially, like if you take the time separately. So I remember like spending countless hours mastering my footwork, like in front of my house by myself, no dog. When I was in the food store, like with the cart, I'm like, at the time we used to do heel ball talk, but it doesn't matter. Like doing my footwork, like going to the bathroom, right? From like walking
Yeah.
to the bathroom, like
Yeah.
doing my footwork, keep your legs together, brush them. This is your rhythm, left, right, or, using a metronome, like all these things, like so that I didn't have to think about it anymore. Now, like once I mastered it for the rest of my life, it's mastered,
Right.
right? Maybe sure, I get a new dog, I have to make some adjustments, but that's not that hard.
Right.
Same with marking, like getting my markers clear, getting the timing, like just focus on that. or focus. Like I would stand in front of the mirror and be like, this is my down signal. Okay, look at it. This is it. Get it in my body. And then I would practice it without the dog, like over and over, like in my house, wherever, right? This is the down, this is the sit, this is the down, this is so that so that I don't have to think about it, and it's exactly the same every time, and it's perfect, and the timing is good. Like I know it so well that the second I don't do it right, my brain's like, I go, oh shit. Like
Yeah,
I
yeah,
know
I was just gonna say
immediately,
that. Yeah. Yep.
right? Whereas other people, they don't even know. It's not even the same every time.
Yeah, and
And
they don't know. Yeah.
yeah, so just take the time out to do that. And then once you have it, and a lot of it you can do in your head, like with mental practice. And you can do that. Like I do mental practice while driving my car, while
Mhm.
hiking my dog. Like, you don't even have to. So if you invest that time, it frees up brain space. Now you
Yep.
don't have to think about it.
Right.
And now training gets a lot easier and it gets a lot less frustrating, and your dog is not as confused. And over time, you have enough things mastered. Now your dog yawns and I can go, "Ooh, why'd you just do that?" And
Yeah,
I
well,
can
that's
go,
yeah, because then you can just kinda do your, like, process of elimination. I think people who haven't mastered the skills, like, that's like, I'll ask students all the time, I'll be like, "Well, why do you think you did that?" And they'll go, "I don't know, probably me because 'cause I'm not consistent." Bingo. That's probably pretty true.
yeah, so then go become consistent. Like if someone said that to me, I would go like, "Oh my God, I got to get my act together."
Exactly. Yeah.
You
Yeah.
know?
100%.
Don't just say, "Oh, well, I'm not." Or if you say that, well, then you better damn well accept that your dog's not going to be consistent. And when your dog's not consistent, you better not get annoyed at your dog,
That's right. That's right. And
because
that's
that is
like
not fair.
it's not fair. Yeah, it's not fair at all. Yeah.
So we have to create these habits so that it frees us up so that we can read the dogs, and then we can have these beautiful conversations with them,
Yeah.
right? Like I'm in the ring and I'm like having a conversation with my dogs, like moment by moment by moment. I know what they're thinking. I can say, like, you know, I go in the ring, I do rally, and I'm in the middle of the run, and I'm like, it's okay, Zesty. I know you're confused. Come on, you're good. It's okay. Like I can see it in his face. So
Right.
then I can give him what he needs to help him out, or Zaina, right? I can say, yeah, I know this is not what we normally do. It's okay. You're fine. Right? You'll understand this better as we go down the road. I don't leave the ring and go, huh, that's weird. I wonder why they were like that. Right?
Right.
Because my brain is completely free. You know, all
Yeah.
that other stuff. Now, the interesting thing was, and again, this shows how sensitive our dogs are, right? Like, so I did rally the other day. I did my each dog, it was their last leg for rally novice. And I had studied those signs and I felt very confident. I knew the signs. There was no hesitation and my dogs were so happy. I was like, "Oh, good. They figured it out. They get it now." Right? Then someone's like, "You can move up to advanced." I was like, "I can?" Of course I wasn't prepared, right? So, but I'm like, screw it. Like, let me move up to advanced. If I mess it up, who cares, right? Like, and we'll figure it out. And I did, but I had to think hard, right? So here's this whole thinking thing I just talked about. So I'm doing the course and it's literally like half an hour. It's maybe an hour later than the other one, right? And both dogs were different. And I know exactly why, because I was thinking so hard about the signs because I didn't like know all of them inside out. And I had to think about like what I was doing.
Mhm.
And they're like, "What's going on? You look different.
Mhm.
Something is weird." Right. So sometimes when our dogs act differently, it's completely us. It's just us. Like we're not the same as in training. Like in training, I am so clear-headed and confident typically, right? Because I typically know what I'm doing. That when I don't know what I'm doing and I'm really thinking, they're like, "Oh, this is weird."
Right.
And
Right.
then they appear weird. They look like, Zesty was like, "Oh, I don't know. This is weird." He gets a little unsure, right?
Right.
And Zaina gets like annoyed. She's like, "What are you doing?" Like, I don't, because she's like, "Dude, either you know what you're doing or I'll take over." Right.
Right. Get out of my way.
And if you don't know what you're doing, then move over. So don't lead me and act like you don't know what you're doing, right?
Oh my God.
But I found it fascinating because like I didn't make any mistakes. They both did it right, but I could tell their energy, it just wasn't, it was different.
Right.
And I was like, "Oh, this is so interesting." Like to me it's interesting.
Yeah.
Um, right? And again, it's that whole like I could have left the ring and gone, "Ugh, I wonder why they're so sucky. Why are they
Right.
so sucky? Why are they being weird?" Right? Um, and it's not them, it was me.
Right.
So we have to really take responsibility for that. But when dogs do behavior, sniffing, not like, oh my God, it's not the mats, people. They're,
Uh, sorry.
it's
Uh,
not the mats. They're displacing.
yeah.
Something's going on,
Yeah.
right?
For sure.
Like, or they wander, or they're going to visit the judge. Stop telling me how friendly your dog is. I don't
Mhm.
care how friendly they are. That's not what they're doing, right? They're worried about something. They're displacing about something. They're confused about something. You need to figure out or there's a hole in your training. Something is happening. The dog is not like, "Oh, I'm so friendly that I'm just going to get up and go
Yeah, I
visit
can't
the
help
judge."
myself. Right.
No. So all these behaviors, it's not always like that obvious thing, right? Like, like when I did rehab, like dogs are stressed. They're uncomfortable, they're sore, something's wrong with them. They have to lay down, I have to manipulate them, right? So I would take my time, but the dogs would come in and they would yawn. "Oh, you're tired?" It's not, don't assume it's that first obvious thing. No, the dog is not tired,
Mhm.
stressed out. It's
Right.
concerned, it's
Yeah.
worried, right? Look at the context. Look at everything else that's going on. Don't jump to the conclusion that this is the first most obvious thing I see, therefore that is what is happening.
Right.
It's usually more complicated, but for sure within the context of training, like I remember when Zesty was young, there were a couple times, like he was a crackhead. He would work all till he dropped dead. Like there was no like, so I had to determine when he was mentally tired. And there were a couple of oh no, yeah. So when he got mentally tired or when he got a little bit confused, he would just like wander away and then he would
Mhm.
come back, right? He wasn't really leaving. He was just like he needed to process, like his brain hurt.
Yeah. Yeah.
And I had to go, "Oh." So I always like as soon as my dog does something, I go,
Yeah. Why?
"Why is that happening?
Yeah.
Right? I become curious and then I let him do it and I watch. And then I'm like, "Okay, I have to really pay attention
Right.
and see what's causing that." Right? Because that's another thing we didn't mention is sometimes they're just processing. So sometimes they'll sniff or they'll move away or they'll do something weird, and they just need a minute. They're like, hold on, I just have to like
Yeah.
process this, right? Can you think of an example? I'm trying to think of an example off the top of my
I have an
head.
example with Salty, that he's been doing a little bit. And it's like always a telltale sign he needs a mental break. And it always happens in healing. Like I'll be healing him and the dog, like this dog puts in 150,000% in his healing. So it makes it a little bit, it's it can cause me to heal him a little longer than I probably should because he just gives and gives and gives. He's that dog. So I can always tell because like I'll be healing and then like I'll like do a halt or stop and he will leave me and circle around my whole body and then get back into position. And like at first I'm like, what the heck is that? But I've noticed like it's always when all of a sudden like he needs a mental break because healing takes so much concentration and he's only a puppy. He's only 11 months old. Like, so there's times where again, like I have to be really careful with him because he pushes, he'll just keep going and going with 100% effort. But I had to watch that a little bit because he needs it got too hard mentally for him. So he will take a break. He'll remove himself from doing it. And it's almost like he's like, hold on, I just need to check myself. And then he comes back and he's like, okay, I can do it again. Like that's an example I'm seeing.
And this is and again, this is where it's so important to figure out why the dog's doing it first,
Yeah.
because in the old days, we would have corrected the dog for
Right.
leaving.
Right.
Now, is that really what you want to be doing to a
Yeah.
dog that's just processing? No, like now you're going to put like pressure on the dog and like that would be the totally wrong thing to do, right? To say,
Right.
"Hey, where are you going? Don't leave me, naughty
Right.
dog."
Yeah.
No. Oh, sorry, buddy. I went too long.
Yeah.
My bad. Lesson learned. Next time, I'm going to stop a little bit sooner, right?
Right.
Like, totally different way you would react to the dog to that behavior. So
Exactly.
that's why when my dog does something, I don't react immediately. I go, huh.
Mm-hmm.
And I figure it out first. Once I figure it out, then I come up with a strategy. But I don't do a strategy until I understand, like, why did my dog do that? Right?
Right.
Because, like, I figured out even in nose work, sometimes Zesty would be searching and then all of a sudden he just like, his nose was still down, but he's just kind of running around. And it could look like he's searching, but I could tell he wasn't.
Right.
And I'd be like, why is he doing that? Right? And I was like, I don't understand. And then one day I realized, oh, when it gets hard, because this was like pretty much very early on, and I didn't know what the hell I was doing. And I'm sure I was setting up some searches that were too challenging and, whatever. And all of a sudden I realized, oh, it's hard. He can't figure it out. So he's
Mm-hmm.
just like, I'm out. And it's not even like he bailed as much as he was just like overwhelmed,
Yeah. Right.
right? So I was like, oh, all right. So this is really good information because it means I'm doing something wrong. I need to do something different, right? Like I have to change what I'm doing so he can be more. And guess what? Changed it.
Went
Behavior
away.
went away, right?
Mm-hmm.
So again, it's like observing and then trying to figure it out. Like, why did I figure it out right away? No. Like it was weeks of me just scratching my head like, but at the same time, I kept scratching my head because I was like, I don't have the skill set in the sport
Mm-hmm.
to understand,
Yeah, to
right? So
explain
like I need to like give myself time to figure this out.
it. Yeah.
Right. And then I don't know, something happened. I think maybe Zaina struggled on the search and then he struggled. And then I went, oh, and I like put it together. I forget, but eventually I put it together. But again, I didn't put it together right away.
Right.
Like it took time, but I'm okay with that. Like I'm okay with, you know, taking the time to figure out like, why is my dog doing this, right? And like my instructor helped me, right? Cuz she knows better than me and I'd be
Right.
like right now I'd go, "Do you think he's searching or not?" Like cuz I don't think he is. What do you think? Right? Cuz like she knows better than me. So
Right.
getting that help from someone I trust. I wasn't just going to ask any Tom, Dick and Harry cuz like,
Right.
I have to feel confident this person knows what they're doing. But I trust her and I had to be like, confirm or deny. Like, do you think I'm right or wrong? And if you think I'm wrong, great. Like, what do you think is happening? You know?
Right. Right.
Um, so I think the key is it's observation. It can be multiple things, gather data, be patient. It may take you weeks or more to figure it out.
Mm-hmm.
Um, but take the time to do it, work on that skill separately from other things. So the another nose work example is like I was trying to figure out when like sometimes if the area is blank, like if there's nothing there, like sometimes I can't tell if Zest is just running around or if he's actually searching and there's nothing there. So I watched a webinar and a suggestion was, which was brilliant. I was like, duh. Set up a search area, and I did this and put nothing in there and observe your dog,
Oh
right?
yeah.
And I got a camera too to help me, right?
Yeah.
And so I did that and I observed him and I just observed him. I was like, stop trying to figure, just observe him, just like no pressure, just whatever. Put him away, did a search somewhere else. And then I put a hide in that same area, went back in later with him, completely different. And I'm like, oh, now I can see the difference. So all I was working on there was me reading the dog. I was not
Right.
working on training. And that's what I'm trying to get people to understand, right? Like you can't train your dog and learn to read it at the same time.
Yeah.
You have to make a dedicated effort to do this as a separate activity.
Mm-hmm. And you need to do it everywhere. I do this all the time. It doesn't have to always just be in the context of like doing a training session. We talk about this all the time.
Mhm.
I'm reading my dogs all the time. Just take your dog through go take your dog downtown. Like read your dog and out of the context of training, right? Look for like physical behavioral signs when your dog is excited, when your dog is worried, when your dog is just distracted, like all those things, like you can see them outside in their everyday pet life, take your dog to the vet and sit in the waiting room. You'll see all sorts of good stuff there.
Mhm. Yeah, and then you're just gathering like a whole pool of data that you can
Totally.
refer to and that it's all going to help you. And two, like anytime you get a chance to like read other people's dogs. I do
Oh yeah.
think one reason I can read dogs relatively well and very quickly is because of my history, right? So like for example, well, we've talked about this a little. I'm an observer, so like I've always observed people. So I do observe dogs. I observe all animals. Like I find it like fascinating. Like even when I go do nose work, there are goats there, right? And I don't know anything about goats. And I'm like, I find myself by default, like I'm not even doing it consciously. I'm like observing them and I'm like, huh, interesting. Like when I have Zaina out to potty her, they always come up, right? They're always like, they come up to the gate, like, hey, they're like, hey, Zaina ignores them, but they come up. I take Zesty out to potty him. He ignores them. They don't come near the gate.
Interesting.
I know, right? And so like I'm an observer.
Right.
So that's an important skill to have. Then I did rehab on dogs. Well, guess what? If I ain't paying attention,
Yeah.
teeth in my body, right?
Yeah.
Which is not fun. So that makes you a really good observer.
Right.
But also too, like I do the online classes, so all I do is watch video, and like as a physical therapist, I have to observe and analyze, right? So it's this constant observation thing, taking in data. So if you should be like, I can't help it. Like it's automatic. If I'm in a class or like my training partner is doing searches with her dog, I'm watching her dog. I'm not just daydreaming. I don't only care about my dog. I watch her dog. Her dog searches so completely different than my dog that in terms of it helping me read my dogs, it's useless, but it's still interesting. And
Right.
maybe it will help me with a future dog,
Exactly.
right? So I'm still watching her dog. I'm still watching, and I analyze all my students' dogs. So I tell my students, you should be watching the other dogs. You should be analyzing those dogs. You should be listening to my feedback on those dogs, because the more you do that, the better you get in general at reading dog behavior. And that will make you better at reading your own dog's behavior.
Right. Exactly. Read all the dogs all the time.
Pay attention.
Damn it.
Damn it. Pay attention. Okay. Thanks,
Okay.
everybody.
Thank you.
Happy training. Bye.
Bye.